Hello, everyone. So, time to watch Amber Heard's NBC News interview. Um, yeah, I'm curious. I watched the trial. I actually watched like the entire trial. Okay, so I wasn't one of those people who watched just clips. I watched like the 8 hour day, um, videos of the trial. So a lot of time spent watching it because I like whenever if I do watch a trial, I like to get like as all the information. So that's why I don't like to watch clips because I feel people who watch clips of the trial are it's like hear them talk about the trial and it's like you're missing this part, you didn't hear this part. They just sound less informed, and I don't want to be like that. So yeah, I actually watched the whole trial, so just wanted to give you context. And I am obviously um, happy that the verdict was more in favor of Johnny because I believe him over Amber. And there was a juror who spoke out in an interview, and he also said that they believed Amber as well. I mean, Johnny as well over Amber. So we're gonna watch the interview. I haven't seen it yet. It's been working, so I'm just gonna like react to it. But I might pause it at certain points. But yeah. Also, if you haven't watched my video where I kind of parody Amber, you should check it out. I've gotten some good reactions from it on TikTok and Instagram. You can see my Instagram right here. It's posted there. I kind of made fun of her lying. So I called it Amber Heard style lying. I have it on this channel too. But yeah, like on TikTok and Instagram, a lot of people were saying that like my impression of her was pretty good. So, just check it out later. All right, let's watch the first part of the interview. Oh, and I have my popcorn ready. Cause yeah, we gotta like I might not eat that much because I don't want to make that much noise, but I just had to have some popcorn ready for the liar. Also I felt like it would be good to watch because I feel maybe if you're an INFP, I don't know if you are, but if you've encountered people like this, like it's good to see someone like this just as an example because I don't know, I was very kind of I hate using this word, but triggered while I'm watching the trial because I know a lot of people like her in my life. So I kind of knew, like, I wasn't really surprised by her behavior. I've dated people like that. Am related to people like that. I've been friends with people like her who, kind of narcissistic, who just like they can never be wrong. Everyone else is wrong. They can never apologize for anything. Um, they just twist everything to favor them. So just I hated watching her, but I had to when I was watching the trial. But I'm just interested to see how she's gonna twist everything to never take responsibility. Um Avril Lavigne, hello. 14, I love popcorns. Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
It's been about more than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in?
How could it? It's surreal and difficult.
Sorry, I had to stop it already because just that silence. So freaking fake and so it's like acting. Like it's just already I'm just like acting. She's acting already. Rusaka, hey, hello. All right.
In part, yes. This has been a long time coming.
Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse?
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
The real-life drama of the defamation case between Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got exposed.
Johnny, you hit me.
This is so cringe.
With clips spreading across social media like wildfire.
I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok, and the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
People
Girl, again, blaming everyone else, okay, and just her and her lawyers just not even respecting the jury. No, okay, I know you want to believe like so hard that, again, it's not your fault and it's not because you and your lawyers were just horrible and nobody believed you. Yeah, let's just blame social media. Okay. The jurors, one of the jurors, the one that did the interview, he said that like they made it, first of all, several of them, I think like half of them don't even have like social media. And then the other ones, like, they made it a point to not talk about it. So I feel like they did, I respect the jury. I feel like they did do their due diligence. They looked at the evidence. That's what they said. It was based on the evidence, not because of not what they saw on social media. And again, just can't really take responsibility for just how probably bad she was in court, her and her attorneys in presenting the case. It's just, and also Amber, why'd you have to do this interview like in the first place? That's all. That's one thing I need to say. Why do it in the first place? In the trial, she was like, I just want Johnny to leave me alone. Just want him to leave me alone. You're not leaving him alone. Like, you just want to keep this on forever. You want to drag this on forever. You want to stay attached to him forever. That's one of my theories, is I feel like she just wants to be like associated with Johnny Depp forever. So that's why she's just gonna keep this going and she's gonna appeal. It's just, you're the one that doesn't want to leave him alone, girl. Like, hypocrite. This is what narcissistic people do, like, as well. It's just like they do things, but then they like say that other people are the ones doing it, and it's like, no, it's you. They project a lot. Avril Lavigne as an ENFJ with some empathy, I can see miles away. Fake emotion. Yes, glad you can see it too. Tracy Evans, the whole case was played on the courtroom, not on social media, as we all did. All we did was watch it. Yeah, exactly. Also, just like, I think I saw so many comments as I was watching the trial, like, of people who were like, I wasn't a fan of either, or I wasn't a fan of Johnny, or I was actually a fan of Amber. But now watching this trial, like, I'm more on Johnny's side. So it's not just only Johnny fans were on his side. Like, people just watched it with their own eyes. And they came to a conclusion, the majority, that Amber was lying. So, Amber, come on. Like, everyone. Oh, God. Let me see. Rusaka, this one lacks Effie so bad she's unable to see how bad her acting is. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into it again.
Online and crowds outside the courthouse made it clear where they stood.
Every single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying, burn the witch, death to Amber. After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how that felt?
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. I have never felt more removed from my own humanity. I felt less than human.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict.
Because I feel like she's about to like do her fake cry. It's like she's trying to cry, but the tears again were not coming out per usual. And I just think, I think this also didn't help her as well. In the trial, they showed the video of her deposition, the one in 2016, where she's just like smirking, smiling, and just what I'm doing, just eating. While the clips of Johnny, like, she's just eating, being rude, like. And it's like the jury saw the difference between like her demeanor there, the way she spoke on the audio, the recorded, conversations between her and Depp, and then the way she acts when she's on the stand, and then the way she's acting here, all like, oh, I'm just a victim, like it's not consistent. Like, where's the real Amber? And they believed the Amber on those, the audio recordings. That's the real Amber, the one that sounds hostile and aggressive and mocking Johnny, her evil laugh. Anyone remember hearing that clip with the evil laugh? Okay, some people that like watched just the clips, they missed that part. Like, that is not the same Amber. So that's why, it didn't help your case, girl. Okay. With Johnny, the juror who was interviewed, he said that Johnny, he was more consistent, like he was more believable, because it's like the way he acted just was more like how, I guess, believable. He didn't seem like he was acting, and he was also like the way he was on the stand, like the way he spoke and everything was similar to the way he is on the audio tapes, just the way he speaks. It's not like he changes depending on the environment, like a liar, like Amber. Okay.
Were you feeling confident?
That's a great question. I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Even if you
Okay, she just kind of repeated herself, like, I wish I could say yes. I would, like, it's just that's something that liars do. It's like they'll rephrase the same thing, like, just to fill space, and then she just kind of that long pause to me was like, okay, let me like think of a lie. It wasn't like I'm just very thoughtful pause. It was more like a pause to let me think of the lie I'm gonna say. Like, so, oh my gosh, well, you're not helping yourself. Just stop talking. Like that will help yourself. But these people it's like just let them go. They will bury themselves. you know, we already know you're a liar. Just showing how much more of a liar you are. Just giving us more proof. Oh my gosh. It's a great question when you're biding time to answer. Yeah, for sure. She did that a lot in the trial, I think. Like she tried to make it seem like, oh, I'm just like, recollecting things. I'm just really thoughtful. When it's like, no, you're just thinking of the lie. You're thinking like, what should I say? I've seen a lot of liars. Okay, I know.
think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
After the 6-week trial, the jury found Heard defamed Depp in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she wrote she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. She never mentioned her ex-husband by name.
This girl's so frustrating. Okay. Oh yeah, fair representation on media. Yeah, it's your fault because of your actions. That's why, because people didn't believe you, and that's why a lot of people yeah, they're gonna voice their opinion and say they didn't believe you. Like, why? Oh god, she gives me a headache.
Depp denied the abuse allegations in court. Heard won just one of 3 claims in her countersuit against her ex-husband. That verdict came less than 2 years after a judge ruled against Depp in a similar case in the UK, in which he sued a British newspaper that called him a wife beater.
There was another trial, handled it dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept out. Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
First of all, I think a jury is a better system because you have multiple people that you know that can rule on the verdict, whereas one person. Also, Amber, you're not obviously you're not going to let people know this, but the judge was a corrupt judge. Okay, in the UK case. He was connected to Amber in some way. I don't remember from my memory exactly how, but he was like friends with a friend of Amber or something. So he definitely should have recused himself. First of all, it's not professional. And also apparently he like quit after this case because I think he was corrupt or something. So of course Amber's not gonna let people know that. And second of all, it's not the same case because you were not a defendant in that case. You were just a witness. The defendant was the son. Okay. So they're going to have different types of evidence. Different types of evidence is going to be allowed because it was not the exact same case. But of course, Amber's not going to say that because she wants people to, obviously be on her side. But, that's what narcissistic people do. And I know she wasn't diagnosed as having narcissistic personality disorder, but she definitely is narcissistic. Obviously I can't diagnose her, obviously, but you can say someone is narcissistic. Doesn't mean they necessarily have the disorder, but she definitely, like, I think anyone watching can see that she definitely has narcissistic qualities. Okay, like if you're smart, you can definitely just see it. Um. Oh wait, let me see. Sorry, Rusalka, more like a public figure representing narcissist. Yeah, for sure. I feel like the people that like defend her are probably most of them are narcissistic. So they're like, I relate to Amber. Tracy, it's totally her fault. She reaps what she sows. It's a separate case here in the UK. Yes, but of course she's never going to admit that. Oh, God.
Evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people, they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst. But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. You can't go into the free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks. My understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
Oh, it's so frustrating, girl. Did you not hear what Savannah said? Free speech, the First Amendment does not protect your lies. Okay, so it gives you the right to speak, but not to lie. Okay, it doesn't protect lies, so that's the difference. And also, it's more about like government, like speaking the truth about government. But that's also not what the case was about. Like, I think in the first day opening statement, the lawyer, her lawyer, Rotten, let's call him Rotten. He was like, this is about free speech. It's like, no, it's not. It's like defamation. We're trying to see if she actually defamed him. That's what this is about, not her right to speak. She does have the right to speak, but if it's a lie, you don't have a right to be lying about people, especially in a way that's going to ruin their lives. No, that's not protected, girl. And she's just, oh my God, we get this from the Greeks, trying to sound so deep. Oh my God, this lady. Do you know we're the same age? I think Amber and I are the same age. It's just, girl. Sorry, I'm just slapping some sense into you. All right.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
In the closing arguments, the Depp lawyer.
Wait, just need to say right now, Camille Vasquez, I love you so much. Camille Vasquez for president. I saw some people saying Camille Vasquez for president. As a Latina, like seeing her just, oh, she's just amazing. Can we just some shout outs, hearts for Camille? She is like, it was just, oh, it's just the contrast between Camille and Amber. It's just like, wow, Camille is just like, this respectable, woman, strong, but again, like it's like she can be strong, but without coming off like hostile and everything. And she's smart, she's quick, great role model, I think, versus Amber, freaking liar, like manipulative. And then her lawyer, not the other one, what's her name? The one that did the interview, Eileen. Sorry, I forgot her name. But the Karen, but just very hostile. Like the way, like it was a stark contrast. I think between like, I think that says a lot about the clients. Johnny, like all his lawyers, pretty likable. even though they, obviously they're talking to people they probably don't like, sometimes questioning them, they were still respectful and just likable, and even like little moments you would see between like Benchu and Johnny and Camila and Johnny, it's like you can tell they cared about their client. It's just sweet, where and like also, a lot of Johnny's witnesses were just more likable people and more believable, whereas like Amber's lawyers, not likable. They didn't really seem to have that like kind of warmth with like Amber, like they really like that Johnny had with his team. And yeah, the lawyers all like no one really liked them. Amber's witnesses not very likable. Really. And then she like I think that says a lot honestly about the clients too. It's like the people you surround yourself with. So maybe if like Amber had better people, yeah, or better lawyers, but she's not a great person. So like you're not gonna attract great people. I think that says something. Rusaka, we stand Camille. Yes, yes. Like she is such a great role model. Like I know she doesn't like the attention. She doesn't really like and Johnny let her a bodyguard or let her well, one of his bodyguards is now guarding Camille. Thank goodness she needs a security now. But I kind of feel bad for her because she's like being followed and stuff, and people are like she's like, I'm just doing my job. I don't want to be famous. Like so, but I just want you to know, Camille, we love you, girl. Your booty hole is my beauty hole. Nothing but respect for my president. Elaine. Okay, Elaine. Thank you. But wouldn't it be cool if Camille was president? I know she's a lawyer. She's like, I probably don't want to be president, but that is a great woman right there. That is a great woman, not Amber. Amber, you should learn something from Camille. Okay? All right.
Said, called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. I'm the
What the heck, girl? Oh, sorry. Not a great screenshot to pause on. Not a great shot. Again, she was like really slow right there, the way she was responding to that question, because I think she's like trying to think of a response and trying to sound like clever and like funny. Like, first of all, he didn't convince the world he had like scissors for hands because like the world doesn't actually think Edward Scissorhands is real. Amber, you're so dumb. That was so stupid. And I love Edward Scissorhands. That's like one of my favorite movies ever. I'll show you. I have a little is it here? Yeah. Let me show you my little baggie. Edward Scissorhands, INFP. I love him. All right. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Okay, but says the lawyer of the man. It's like, okay, trying to come up with something. All right, we see it. We see you, Amber. We see you trying to come up with stuff. It's so stupid. Your booty hole is my beauty hole. Amber Heard convinced the world to think she could breathe underwater. Yeah, apparently we can't differentiate between the characters and the actors. So stupid.
Former, I had listened to weeks of testimony insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress. So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser, that
you are because you're not because people saw on the stand that you're not a good actress. Like they said you're not good in the movies and you're not good in the trials. So like it was consistent. And Amber, and when Camille said that you gave the performance of a lifetime, she didn't say it was a good performance. It's like you were trying to give your best performance and people could still see it was bad. Like
you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
You say you were responding, but there is evidence. There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited. What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation of how to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand context. But you're testifying and you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
Could your side have just put the whole
My gosh, girl. She will not, she just refuses to accept responsibility. It's on the tape, girl. Like, do we have to hear 24 hours? First of all, there's no way that's gonna happen. Like, probably no one records the entire life 24/7 that we can hear. Okay, let's get all the context. Okay, you said you start physical fights, and then the other one, oh, I was not hitting, or I was hitting you, or I was hitting you, I was not punching you. Like, how many? What kind of context is that? Like, what kind of context do we need? Like, there's several times. Okay, yeah, you said you start physical fights. Like, stop. Oh, people like this are so frustrating. That's why when I meet someone like this, now because I'm more knowledgeable about like narcissistic people and stuff like that. When I meet them now, I just try to stay away from them as much as I can because they are so frustrating because no matter what evidence even if it's their own actions, their own words, they will not accept responsibility. So yeah, in my real life, I try to just not associate with them as much as possible because they're very frustrating, just like you see me getting very frustrated with her right now. But you're seeing it right here, a narcissistic person. They're presented with evidence in the whole trial. And here, no, 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 I didn't say that, or you need the context. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Um, have her living 14. Look, her eyes when she lies, she always sees down or left. Oh, I haven't really noticed that, but I'll try to pay more attention to that. All right, let's get back into it.
whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He
And
says he never hit you.
He can't-
Never. Is
yeah.
that a lie?
Yes, it is.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as the person who sat there.
Yeah, I mean, even though you're not calling them a liar, you are calling them a liar in a way by basically, saying that when during the trial when Camille was questioning you about what other people are saying, the other witnesses are like, no, that didn't happen. No, oh, I believe they said that, but then it didn't happen. You are calling them liars in that way. Um, and earlier when she was like, oh, when you're a victim, you just, you take responsibility. Like, what? Okay, yeah, I know sometimes people might do that, but for physical violence, like, does that make sense? Like, okay, if you got beat up, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm the one that beat you up. I mean, have you heard that? I mean, I don't know if anyone has experience in that, but, like, I haven't thank goodness I haven't been, like, physically beat up or anything like that. I've had other things done against me, but okay, let's say, for example, one thing that did happen to me was this lady, and when I was living in LA, I got off the bus. This lady just randomly came up and like started pulling my hair. So crazy lady. So it was a little assault. Obviously not the worst thing ever, but still just some random lady to start pulling my hair for no reason. She just came up and started doing that. Would it make sense for me to be like, yeah, I'm the one that pulled her hair? Why would I do that? It was done to me. Why would I say that I'm the one that was pulling her hair? So, no, Amber, it doesn't make any sense. Again, this is why the jury didn't believe you, because you don't make sense. Like, what victim is gonna like, let's say you're stabbed, you're gonna be like, I'm sorry I stabbed you when you're the one that was stabbed? Who? Oh, girl, we're not that dumb. We're not that dumb, Amber. I think she thinks we're that dumb, but that's how much she believes in her lies. She just thinks I'm right no matter what. I know better than everyone. Everyone that is seen with their own eyes is stupid.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. I have so much regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong. I will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was. And it was ugly and could be very beautiful. It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
Heard's lawyers say they plan to appeal that verdict. And as for the notion from Heard that there was evidence allowed in that UK trial that could have potentially made a difference last week, Depp's attorney said here on Today that the evidence presented in the latest trial far exceeded the UK one, 2 different processes, and they believe the jury got it right. We have a lot more of our conversation to share with you tomorrow morning on Today, including her.
All right, I'm gonna put up part 2, and thank you for everyone who's actually watching right now, because I feel like YouTube might actually take this down. We'll see, because of I was just thinking about it, because of the interview clips. So hopefully they don't, because I don't understand. I see other YouTubers talking about this, like reacting and showing the interview. So I don't know why those are not taken down. And like if I put this up, mine might get taken down. So like I just want to thank everyone watching right now, because you guys, this might be the only time to watch it.
Where
So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna add this one. Okay, that's the second part. Cool. But yeah, she is just so freaking frustrating. Like so fake. Oh, I can't. Just like just trying to seem like a freaking victim. It's so annoying. We can see right through it, through you, Amber.
there's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you. Do you feel like that came true?
I know he promised it. I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim. But when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own words, which is a promise to do this. It feels as though he has.
Amber Heard reflecting on the ripple effects of her tumultuous trial with Johnny Depp.
Having been found liable, are you nervous as we are here today about what you can say now?
Of course. I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak.
Do you feel like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
I'm scared that no matter what I do, no matter what I say or how I say it, every step that I take will present another opportunity for this sort of silencing, which is what I guess a defamation lawsuit is meant to do. It's meant to take your voice.
Oh my, no, it's not about like taking your right to speak, girl. Stop. Stop. It's about stopping the lies. That's the difference. Stop lying. If you had said like you have a right to speak, yes. But if it's a lie, that's the problem. And also people have a right to, you have a right to say stuff. Like I have a right to say something here on YouTube, but people also have a right to respond. Okay? So you had your say in the article, people can respond. You said your piece in the trial, people have a right to respond as well. Like that's what a lot of people forget. They're like, I have a right to speak. It's like, yeah, but people also have a right to respond. They have a right too. And if Johnny, if you're saying lies about him that ruined his life, his career, um, he has a right to defend himself. He hasn't been able to say anything because it's mostly people believed you. I didn't, especially after hearing the audio, like the recordings like a few years ago. After I heard that, I was like, Amber's the abuser. It's so obvious. Like, so, and then after watching the trial, that just confirmed why I didn't believe you. It's like you're just not believable. The evidence didn't add up. Your stories, the evidence on both sides, just like seeing everything, like, and uh um, she's just she just won't stop. Like no matter what, she's gonna be the victim. She's a victim of Johnny. She's a victim of, not she's not being allowed to speak. You had your say for like 6 years. A lot of people believed you, and then Johnny couldn't work. So shut up. Just shut up. Just stop saying that. Just stop lying. Stop lying. That's it. Or just stop doing any interview. If you're not gonna stop lying, just shut up. Just you're not helping yourself with these lies. Oh god.
But Amber is still speaking just days after a jury stunned many and found the actress defamed Depp in an op-ed where she said she was a public figure representing
Sorry, I just thought that was really good. But she's like, oh, I can't speak, and that's the point of the defamation, lawsuits. Like I can't speak. And then Savannah's like, but she's still speaking. That was good. That was a good line right there.
domestic abuse. The piece, which never mentioned Depp by name, was published 2 years after the couple announced they had settled their divorce.
Life had seemingly moved on, and you decide to write an op-ed. Why did you do that?
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
But it alluded to him.
You said it in the trial. Okay, come on. Anyone watched it? Anyone who watched it? She said it. She said it to Camille. She said it during, I forgot what day it was, maybe day 22 or something, when Camille was during the rebuttal, like cross-examination, that she's like, I wrote it about Johnny because I don't know, but she admitted it. Amber, this is what people who gaslight do. They just think like it's like you hear something yourself and they're like, no, you didn't actually hear that. I didn't actually say that. It's like, yes, you did. And they make you think you're crazy. And I've had this happen to me. And I understand Johnny recording stuff. Well, I mean, they both agree to it, but like when I've met people like that who would gaslight me, you start recording stuff because they make you think you're crazy, because you'll be like, you said this, and they're like, no, I didn't. It's like, yes, you did. And it's like, okay, the only way, like, okay, am I crazy? So then it's like I started like recording conversations with those people because I'm like, they will always deny that they said this. So I had to, yeah. So I did that. And that's what people who gaslight do, is just they'll just deny. And it's like, Girl, millions of people saw you say that on the trial. Camille got you to admit that you wrote it about Johnny. And also, I mean, you don't actually have to use his name for people to know that it was him. But then you actually did say it was him. So stop. Oh my gosh, she just does not lie. Risaka the shade. um, and then it wasn't her, it was Patricia. Patricia? Sorry, who's Patricia? But Amber said it. I don't know what you're referring to, but she said it that she wrote it about Johnny because she was, I don't remember the exact quote, but it was about, she was like tired of people believe protecting powerful men and stuff like that. But she did say, like, you can look it up, you can look up the clips on YouTube. So
It was unmistakable.
You know, what the op-ed was about was, you know, me loaning my voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person weighing in on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
I obviously knew it was important for me not to make it about him or to do anything like defame him. I had lawyers, teams of lawyers, review all the drafts of this.
When you wrote this op-ed, it was the height of Me Too. Legions of powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Of course not. Of course not. It wasn't about him.
But the op-ed and the abuse alleged was at the heart of the 6-week trial.
why doesn't they need to show that clip? This is a perfect opportunity to show the clip where she said that she wrote it about Johnny. And also, the guy from the ACLU, the witness, he said, if you watch the trial like I watched it, he said that they originally Johnny Depp's name was in the article. He was named, and they took him out. There's like, I think, emails or something where they discussed taking out the name, like his name. So, I mean, okay, there's that his name was originally in there, and they decided to take it out. And then she actually said it. So how much more evidence do you need? Like,
pulls his arm back with the phone and throws it at my face. Hit me right in it felt like my eye.
Heard testified that the final straw came after a violent fight in May 2016. 6 days later, she filed for a restraining order. Cameras
okay, wouldn't you say if it was actually your eye, wouldn't you be like, oh, it was my eye? No, it felt like my eye. A freaking liar, dude.
capturing her as she left the courthouse. But Depp's lawyers convinced the jury Heard was lying about the abuse. Police who responded to the 2016 incident testified during the trial that they didn't see any injuries and that Heard declined to file charges.
This was a hoax, is according to his team. Why didn't I cooperate with the police? As I've testified before, and I will stand by until my dying day, I didn't want to cooperate with them. I didn't want this to be out. I didn't want this to be known. I didn't want to cooperate with them because I didn't want this to be, I didn't want to get him in trouble. If it was a hoax.
Okay, this part never made sense to me because I forgot who's the one that called the cops, but wasn't she the one that called? It's like, it doesn't make sense. Why would you call the cops about this incident, but then not name the person? That doesn't make sense. Was it one of her friends? I don't remember, but like, if I was reporting a crime, which I have before, I would tell them who it was or who I think it was, or what the suspect looked like. If it was someone that I wanted to protect, I wouldn't even call the cops at all, because like obviously they're gonna want to know who it is. So that part never made sense to me. It's like, oh, we're gonna call the cops twice, but I'm not gonna cooperate with them. So don't call them, idiot. Like, obviously, if you call the cops to report a crime, they're gonna want to know who was it. And when I have called the cops on things, on like because of things that happen, like I wanted them to, I wanted that person to, pay, get for what they did. So it just doesn't, like, if it was someone I didn't want to get in trouble, just, in general, like, I wouldn't tell anyone. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why would you call the cops and then not cooperate? Like, if you wanted to protect them, you just don't call?
I could have done that.
But 5 days later, you went to court and it came out.
5 days later, I made the decision to stand up for myself and protect myself. You can't get a restraining order in private, which of course I didn't understand the night when the cops were called.
An employee of TMZ testified at court and said that TMZ was tipped off about when you were going to be going to the courthouse and on what side of your face bruises would be apparent.
Also, that looks so fake. It just looks like makeup just, like, smeared on here. I have a lot of bruises, okay? I'm clumsy. I get bruised all the time, so I I know what the and then also if when you get hit real bad, it's swollen. Okay, you see a little bump, okay? That just looks like makeup smeared right there.
Did you tip off TMZ?
I was going to say, he certainly didn't get tipped off by me or
Did
anyone in my...
anyone you know tip off TMZ?
Why would they? No.
You ask no one to do that.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do with me.
There are different incidents that you testified to, and the Depp legal team would put up pictures of you publicly right after that or in the days following and saying that why are there no bruises?
Again, it's that thing. If you have bruising, if you have injuries, it's fake. If you don't have any, then you weren't injured.
You had promised.
Okay, if you got punched or hit, especially by someone who's stronger than you, and especially if they have rings, you would have something. You would have a mark. It doesn't logic. It does not make why would you have nothing? Like I freaking just bump myself and I get a big bruise. That's just from bumping into things. So if someone had punched me, like you would have something. Oh my god.
To donate the $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity. It was revealed at trial that you haven't done so yet. However, they played a tape where you stayed on the air that you have donated it. Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
I made a pledge, and that pledge is made over time by its nature. And
when you say I donated, you know that everybody thinks that you've donated it, not that you've pledged it. So for the jurors sitting there, do you think they felt like that was you getting caught in a lie?
I don't know, because I feel like so much of the trial was meant to cast aspersions on who I am as a human, my credibility, to call me a liar in every way you can.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is part of like the strategy when you're trying to prove defamation, I think is just to show that you are a liar. To because that way, you know, the jury can kind of see that you've done this before and that you're not just a credible person. So I think, yeah, that's something that people are gonna do is try to make sure that you're not credible. That's their strategy, and also you just just through your actions, you show you're not credible. So it's not like they were making stuff up to show that you're not credible. They used your own, pictures of you, clips of you. It's your own actions that show that you're not credible. Also, just you speaking, and the jury, the juror that did that interview, he said that they were creeped out by her always looking at them, which was like, you did that for forever. You did that every like million, like how many days she was on there? 6 days or in total or whatever. Yeah, you did it every time. I thought maybe at one point she would stop. Maybe after the first day, maybe her lawyers be like, stop doing that so much. But no, she just kept doing it till the end, very end, looking at them all the time. It's like, girl, stop. You're not helping yourself. Why do you think that's helpful? They were creeped out by it. They thought it was creepy. And I like when Camille kind of called her out on it when she was like, I think they were talking about the hotel employee, and she's like, I think Camille was like, oh yeah, he was raised to, his parents raised him well to look into the eyes of people when he's speaking to them. I was like, yes, Camille, you go. That was awesome. I'm fine. I'm glad that finally like someone said something to her about it. But yeah, it's your own, you did this to yourself.
And
That
more.
was the trial. It was a credibility contest.
And
That was it.
This is another one of the examples.
Exactly. It's a defamation. So, yeah, they are gonna talk about each person's credibility. Oh, Amber! Ooh, she's so ugh.
Examples where if you pull back and you think about it, I shouldn't have to have donated it in an effort to be believed. I shouldn't have had to earmark the entirety of that in order to have.
You shouldn't have, but once you said you did.
Right, which is where it was intended to go.
Heard says she still plans to honor that pledge.
How do you see your future now?
I get to be a mom, like full time, you know, where I'm not having to juggle.
I feel so bad for the kid, like, to have to be raised by a mom like that. Like, if only there was not a child involved, like, oh, Amber just you don't need to be raising kids. Can Camille adopt him? Like, she's a much better person. Oh my gosh, what is she gonna teach this child? To lie? And then the child is gonna eventually find out how horrible their mom is, and I feel bad for when that's gonna happen, that day when they realize, "Wow, my mom is a horrible person." And, Amber, it's gonna be all your fault. But Amber, of course, gonna blame Johnny, she's gonna blame, the lawyer, she's gonna blame everyone. She's never gonna say, like, "Yes, I made a mistake, it was really stupid, don't ever be like me, like, don't ever do that." Of course not, but, ugh, why? Why does she have to have a kid? Why? What a manipulative person by Avril Lavigne 14. Yes, for sure. Definitely very manipulative. I feel so bad for her new husband. Oh, she has a husband? I didn't even know she was married. Sorry, I'm not an Amber Heard fan. So I just heard she had a child. I don't follow her on Instagram. So but I just heard she had a child, but I didn't know. I thought maybe she was like a single mom or something. I didn't know she was married. Wow. Who is her husband? Now I have to look that up. But you know what? The husband, he's not innocent child. So I don't feel that bad for him because he decided to marry her. So not feel so bad. Like, okay, hopefully he's not getting abused. I will say that. Like, if he does get abused, I do feel bad. But also, like, now all this has come out and you're still gonna be like, I'm gonna marry her. Like, I mean, obviously, like, they probably got married before the trial, I believe, but like, you know, I didn't hear about the tapes, like nothing. And you're still gonna be like, oh, red flags, cool. I'm still gonna go and marry this person. So I don't feel as bad because he's an adult. He's not an innocent person, whereas a child is innocent. And he doesn't, you know, the child doesn't have a say into who their parent is gonna be, whereas an adult has a say into who he's gonna marry. So hopefully he's not getting abused. And I just want to say, like, they're, you know, I think because I don't remember when she mentioned this, but um I don't know, I think when she was talking about credibility and stuff, like, I just wanted to say too that, like, you know, there's other people who have been abused by you. Like, they couldn't bring it up in the trial, unfortunately, but your ex, her name starts with a T, I don't remember, but sh like, I haven't seen the video, but I think there's video of her, like, hitting her or something, so there's that. And then I read, this I don't know if it's true or not, but I read that she also abused an ex-boyfriend as well. He's not very well known, but there's history of you doing that. There's not history of Johnny hitting people. So that doesn't help you either, girl.
Calls with lawyers.
One day you may want to tell your daughter about this or have to tell your daughter about everything that you've gone through. What would you want to say?
I think no matter what, it will mean something. I did the right thing. I did everything I could to stand up for myself and the truth.
Heard and Depp's volatile relationship lasted just 4 years. Depp confirming his engagement to me on Today in 2014.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
Yeah, very. She's a wonderful girl. She's sharp as a tack, you know, wonderful, you know, Southern belle, and sweet as can be, and very good for me, you know.
On the first date.
Oh, that's painful to watch. Poor Johnny. He was a Southern gentleman. Or he is still a Southern gentleman, and she was a Southern belle. Now we know she's not. She is just manipulative, just like a lot of people like her. They're very charming. They know what to say to like get you to like them, and that's why a lot of like just one advice, a piece of advice. This is what I do now because now I'm more, like I said, I'm more knowledgeable about people like this. Is don't reveal too much about yourself about what you like. Like if you think someone is like a narcissistic, manipulative person, a lot of times they'll try to get to know you and like, oh, ask you questions. Like, don't reveal that much about yourself because they will use that to like get you to like them. And I've experienced this, and now because at first you're like, oh my god, they want to get to know me. Okay, so you like reveal yourself and talk a lot about yourself, but then they will use that. First of all, they'll use it to get close to you, get you to fall in love with them, blah blah blah, and then they'll use it later to like get back at you, like, and they'll use it in a bad way. So that's why a lot of times now when I meet someone and I feel like they might be like this type of person, I notice they'll try to like get to know me. Oh, what's like, just try to get to know me, like, and I just, they call it like a gray rock. That's like a term. It's just more, you don't show like that much emotion. You just like a rock, gray rock, not just more neutral, just not really open up that much. And sometimes they try to really get to you, and they're like, why didn't you want to talk, or why didn't you want to like respond? It's like, I'm just like, I'm private. I just have that boundary. Like, I'm private. It's privacy. I just, and they'll try like, oh, what's your last name? Like all these things, and oh, what's your favorite band? And it's like, nope, sorry, you're not getting anything from me. Like, oh, where do you work? Like just things to like really just get to know you. It's like, no, 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 because don't need someone like that in my life. I've done that before and it didn't work out, like, because I didn't know any better. But now when I think someone is kind of more of a narcissistic, manipulative person, like, I'm just like, yeah, you're not going to get to me. You're not going to use, what I like or anything to try to get me to fall in love with you. So I'm just a lot more careful. So that's just a piece of advice because can trick you again. Like, she kind of got to him with like his music taste and everything, and then later she's like, "Oh, I don't know who Carly Simon is. Do you know about music or not?" Like, so I feel like, and then she was like, "Oh, I didn't know who Johnny Depp was." And then there's like interviews talking about how she knew about him. So I definitely feel like she did do that. She kind of used what he liked to get to him, and then they'll use that against you later. Because then later she was like, "Oh, I didn't want to hang out with him because like him and his friends were like too boring," or something like that. Or did Johnny say that? I forgot, but like she didn't like his musician friends or him doing all that stuff. So yeah, I've just experienced that way too many times, but I just want you guys to like be aware and just be careful because they make it seem, they're very charming. They make it seem like, oh my god, they really want to get to know me. And sometimes you're not used to people like being interested in you, so you fall for it and you're just like revealing yourself, get all vulnerable, and then they use that to get close to you, and then they'll use it against you, like she did with him. So just be careful. I just want you guys to protect yourselves, and I feel so much better now um when I protect myself, because I'm like, when I just keep saying, "No, I'm private. Nope, 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 nope," when they try to get more information from me, and eventually, like, it takes a while. You have to be strong, but eventually, like, they will leave you alone, and it feels good to like. I'm like, oh my god, I got rid of that person, and that's why with social media, like, a lot of people, they'll be like, "Oh, what's your Instagram?" Because that's one way they'll use to like do some research on you and see how to get to you. I'm just like, oh, I don't have social media, like, do not, if you have social media and you think someone's a narcissist, manipulative person, do not give them your social media. Just make up any excuse, say you don't have it, you don't believe in it, whatever. Because once they follow you, they'll no. Just say no. Straight gone or Stratagon. So she's a pure evil and JD's just an innocent victim. Well, every coin has two sides. I didn't say she's pure evil. And I don't think like Johnny is like innocent victim, but he was a victim of the physical violence. And Also, yeah, okay, oh my god, he called her names and he sent me things in text. First of all, most of the texts were sent to other friends, and also texts are not a crime. Like, they both said bad things to each other, so they both did drugs, they both, drank. She drank 2 bottles of wine, and I hate how people, like, always bring up his substance abuse, but they never bring up her substance abuse. They were both, abusing. So, there we go, and then she also didn't help him. He was trying to get sober, she didn't help him at all. She was denying his medication, she was still drink and do other stuff and ask him to get drugs while he's trying to get sober. How is that supportive? No. Again, saying mean things and text is not a crime. They both said mean things to each other. That's not a crime. So, oh, like everyone says that. It's like you've probably said mean things too. Everyone has said mean things in text. That doesn't mean that you were an abuser. Okay? So just look at the mean text you said and like just show it to me and then I'm going to call you an abuser because apparently that's what some people think. Oh, he called her a C word. Oh my god, that means he's an abuser. No, no, it's not. And yeah, they're both jealous. I do think that both of them are jealous people, but again, being jealous does not make you an abuser. Writing mean things in text does not make you an abuser. Being jealous doesn't make you an abuser. I've dated jealous people, but they weren't abusive, so I can say they're jealous, but no, I would never call them abusive because I'm also not a liar, so I'm not gonna lie. And I forgot what I was gonna say after that, but let's just. Oh, sorry. What I was gonna say was being abusive makes you an abuser. And who was the abusive one? Amber. Let's see. Throwing bottles at him, freaking cut his finger off, throwing cans, Red Bull, the can of mineral spirits. Johnny also said he threw a remote. She threw a remote at him. That's abusive. Not being jealous. Not saying mean things in text. Not having substance abuse issues, which they both did all those things. They both had substance abuse issues. Both said mean things to each other. And what? Sorry, I'm just like blanking. What was the other? And they were both jealous. Okay, so that doesn't mean you're an abuser. Being an abuser, that's makes you an abuser, and the jury found that she was the one. And also, she said it several times. Like, how much more evidence do you need? Oh my gosh. Rusaka, I mean, Johnny is a clever man, and he still felt for her despite of her behavior and left such a graceful woman like Vanessa. I think any man or woman is susceptible for falling for these narcissists. Yeah, for sure. Like, I think Vanessa's with someone else now. But I feel like I feel kind of bad for Johnny. He's probably like, dang it, what did I do? But that's life. Sometimes you leave someone really great for someone else and it doesn't work out. So yeah, but at least he still has her in his life as he has these beautiful children from her, but I feel like that's probably like a regret from Johnny for sure. But yeah, that's why you have to be very careful with these narcissistic people because they're very charming. They will fool you and sometimes you don't even realize until like later, like, oh my gosh, I just gave him way too much information. And yeah, so that's why I try to like give you guys advice, like, please be careful, like, when especially really soon when the person just meets you and all of a sudden they're like want to know everything about you, try to get so close to you. It's like that should be a red flag. I know at first it seems like a good thing, like, oh my god, this person wants to get to know me. It's like, yeah, but like not go that deep right away. Like, you just have to be careful. Okay, just be careful. That's all. Protect yourself. And then Avril Lavigne, earlier you said no, she's not. I think you're responding to when I said that she's married. Well, I guess like your comment so bad for a new husband. I think maybe you meant like in the future if she gets married. Okay. Yeah, because I hadn't heard she was married. So I guess that's what you mean. I guess she is a single mom. All right. Again, I don't know her relationship status because I don't follow Amber Heard. um, let's see. Another comment. Oh, Avril Lavigne 14. My best friend was the type of person. I still miss her, but I'm glad she's away right now. Yeah, for sure. Like, I just realized this was not tied up, this back part of my shirt. Yeah, I've had friends like that too. Like, and I had to get them all out of my life. Well, quote unquote friends. They were not real friends, but whoo, that's that's life. That's how I learned. But I had to get them out because they were just like that. And then they just switch. Basically, they'll get to know you, they'll charm you, they'll, get all this information to get you to like them. And then once you start pushing back and once you start saying no to them, once you start defending yourself, they turn because they want you just to do everything that they want to do. Strat had gone. Yes, you're right, but the unhealthy dynamic of those two was not just her doing. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not saying the healthy dynamic was all because of her. The unhealthy dynamic was all because of her, but that still doesn't mean she wasn't abusive. So that's no excuse, though. Like, you still hit someone, you still threw things at them. There are ways to handle. There are other people in toxic relationships who are not abusive. So there's no excuse for her being abusive. You can handle things in a different way. I know people who were in toxic relationships, but they weren't abusing each other. So that's the difference. Okay. All right. Let's get back into it.
At the trial, you issued a statement, and part of the statement said, I still have love for Johnny.
Yes.
Is that still true?
Yes.
After everything?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love him. I loved him with all my heart. And I tried the best I could to make a deeply broken relationship work. And I couldn't. I have no bad feelings or ill will towards him at all. I know that might be hard to understand, or it might be really easy to understand. If you've just ever loved anyone, it should be easy.
Depp's attorneys have said they do not see the verdict in this case as a setback to victims of domestic violence coming forward. Heard's legal team has said they do plan to appeal this summer. Quick note, we will have more of our conversation with Amber Heard during a special edition of Dateline, including evidence she says should have been included in the trial that would have bolstered her case. You can stream part of it, a sneak preview, tomorrow on Peacock. Ahead of that Dateline special, a full hour airing Friday night, 8/7 Central.
All right, so like I said, so not the full interview, but I'm not going to do a full interview because that's going to be way too long. So I thought this was the full interview. It was 2 parts. Oh God. Maybe I'll do a part 2. Maybe, I don't know if YouTube doesn't take this down, but um, yeah, I think that's all I want to say. Just because it's been over an hour. Thank you so much for everyone for joining me. I have to go. I actually have to go to sleep real quick because, well, in real soon because I actually have to work early tomorrow. So I was trying to do this under an hour. But thank you all for responding, for watching. But I have to go. And Amber, sorry, we don't believe you. And I will talk to you guys next time. All right. Bye.